Hey guys, you're watching Couch Surfing here with Metal Matt. We've got a very special guest with us right now, Mr. Matt Hughes from Two-Face, Trench, Heartless, and XcolonelslamdersX. I got that all right, didn't I?
Yeah,
Cool.
most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
He's a busy man, the man, the myth, the legend.
It's true. Metal Mats.
We are
Metal Matt times 2.
Now this is a bit of an artist profile, so we want
Yeah.
to talk about, how you started in live music here, Matt. I know you played in a heap of bands in the past, but what made you get into playing live music?
When I was about 14 or 15, actually, my granddad, he's played bass pretty much his whole life, and I started on bass. So we were at his house for Christmas one year, and everyone was outside, and I went inside, and I hear this booming coming from the bedroom. I go down there, I'm like, what is that? And then he's in there playing Money by Pink Floyd on his bass.
Yeah.
And he's playing it with his fingers, and he's like, just going hard at it. And I was like, I walked out and I said to my mum, have you seen that? Like, because that blew me away, because I've never seen anybody doing that.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, he's been doing that his whole life. I'm like, I want to do that. So then they went and secretly bought me a bass for my birthday that year and gave it to me early, put me in lessons, and then I started on bass. And then, kind of just sort of met a few people and were jamming in like garage punk bands and stuff that never really went anywhere. And then Atlantis of the Sky needed a bass player, and I was playing bass at the time, and I was already friends with them, so they sort of asked me, and I was like, yeah, why not? And then it's just sort of started from there.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Now you're in these 4 bands, I'm right, so 4 bands, these 4 bands that you're in at the moment. How do you manage to juggle being in 4 bands? Like, people struggle being in 2, but being in 4 would be a challenge. How do you manage to keep this all together?
Luckily, with 2 of them, like Colonel Slanders is on the back burner at the moment due to injury. Heartless is sort of a let's do it when we have time thing, because it's some of the other guys have like families and stuff, so it's sort of like when we've got time, we'll make it work.
Yeah, of course.
So it hasn't broken up. We've actually recorded a 5-track EP. It just hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, nice.
So we will have a new release coming at some point in the future. I just don't know when. Trench is actually a 2-man solo project with me and my mate Don.
Yep.
And so I pretty much write all the music for that.
Yeah, cool.
And then we moved out together and set up sort of a home studio. So we write heaps of demos. Like I've got maybe 50, 60 demos sitting on a computer for all different projects, and I write a lot of different stuff that people haven't heard or people probably wouldn't expect from me.
Yeah, cool.
Me and Don are also working on a new project that will have a release out this year. And then Two-Face, I've been in for about 1.5 years. I joined just before COVID hit, and they had a bunch of shows booked. They all got canned. Yeah. So we went and recorded an album. So we'll have a 12-track album coming out at some point in the future.
Cool.
And so I just learned the songs, and now COVID's dying down, shows are slowly coming back, so Two-Face are getting back into it. We're going to look to take some bookings in the future, and I just sort of, it's just good time management, like, because me and Don live together, we can do Trench and our new project on our own time.
Yeah, for sure.
Two-Face, a lot of those guys have, kids and families and priorities and stuff, so we sort of make it work when we can. It's usually fortnightly or something like that. We'll have a prac and, go over the songs and brainstorm ideas and stuff, so that'll be good. And then once that album's out, we'll probably be looking at doing some touring, and hopefully, it all goes well, and COVID doesn't have another spike and ruin everything for everyone again.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
We've been doing pretty well in this country, so I don't see it happening, but you can't really judge these things. Anything could happen. I want to touch base on XcolonelslamdersX, alright?
Yeah.
Very original idea, KFC inspired band. You're a big KFC fan.
Yes.
Obviously, who isn't a KFC fan? But what made you come up with this idea to start this project?
It was actually Billy hit us up, and he's like, I want to start a project with you and Don. Like, I want to do like a fast band, like a grindcore, like punk or power violence, something like that. And then, I'm a big KFC fan, like you said, and so basically, we just sort of started writing, like we had a jam, we started writing funny songs about just eating chicken and doing drugs and stuff, and then just kind of, we didn't make a Facebook page, we actually recorded like 2 EPs, like just on phone audio, because we're trying to be like underground grindcore, like a lot of bands do it like that. And we put out a bunch of stuff just recorded on a phone, and we put it on Bandcamp, and like, it was out for like a few months and nobody cared, and then I shared it around to people and people loved it, and we weren't going to make a Facebook page because we were trying to be that underground that like nobody would know who we were.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, no, make a Facebook. So we made a Facebook, and that ended up blowing up, and then we ended up playing house shows, birthday parties, you know, shows at the Mosh Pit, shows, you know, all around. You know, we played at Valve Bar a bunch of times before they shut down, so I'm lucky, you know. Every band I've been in actually has played Valve Bar, and I'm lucky, you know, sort of like, a lot of people would talk shit on Valve Bar and be like, oh, you know, it's a shithole, the location shit, blah, 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 but like, while some of those things could be true, it's like our shithole. It's like that's the metal people, like that's ours, you know what I mean? Like it's
a congregation though.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, even though it might have sucked location-wise or venue-wise or whatever, like it was still ours. It was something that we had, and now that's gone. So, you know, you still have smaller venues like the Mosh Pit, but that's even further out of the way and harder to get to for most people. So
yeah, sure.
I'm not talking shit on the venue, but I'm just saying, like, I would love for there to be a space like Valve Bar where everybody got a chance. Like, doesn't matter what, you know, punk bands, indie bands, whatever genre, like, everybody got a chance to play there. And that was what was awesome about Valve, and that was just, like, our little community hub that everybody would go to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you got a favourite live show that you play? You've played a few shows.
Oh,
is there, like, a standout show that you played?
When I was in Atlantis of the Sky, we did our EP release at Tattersall.
Yes,
That was awesome, because that was, like, a packed house.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we did it. We filmed a live music video from that, but I don't think it's around anymore. And Liability got to play a few good high-profile shows with some like bands that were touring and had a good rep. So
absolutely. I'm
happy about that. For Colonel Slanders, some of the house parties actually we played were wild. Like there was this house party we played with a band called Crackhead from Windsor.
Yep. Yeah.
Then somebody had Uber Eats Red Rooster, and while we were playing, somebody put the food in front of me. I thought they were empty bags, so I booted them, and chips went everywhere throughout the shed we were playing in.
That's awesome.
And then people eating the chips off the ground, and then gravy went everywhere, and I was just being a funny cunt, so I snorted gravy off the ground and. Yeah, it was just loose. Like there was drinking and there was like a bit of a scuffle in the pit, and like, it was just awesome. It was just fun. Like it was a fun scuffle. It wasn't like violent or anything.
Yeah, that's one of the most rock and roll stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, and then when I was playing, I had a Gibson Les Paul at the time. Actually, the next day, like I got home and opened it up, and there was gravy all over my guitar.
No.
So I'm like, oh no, this is gonna like eat away the paint. So because I don't know what they put in the gravy. It's probably acid.
Yeah.
So
what's the problem?
Yeah, I'm just like I'm scrubbing my guitar, scrubbing gravy off the fretboard and off the body and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then with Heartless, we got to play with a Melbourne metalcore band called Gloom in the Corner. And they're like really big in that genre, and they're like sort of known around the world now and very, very popular. So I'm grateful. I think that was their first Sydney show, and we got to play that. So I'm super grateful that we got to do that.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, so those are some of the best memories I've got.
What are your main musical influences, like your personal musical influences, the bands that really got you starting, you know, playing live music?
Yeah, well, obviously Metallica. Everyone's going to say Metallica.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Slipknot, Black Sabbath, Machine Head. Josh Travis, like I love all his bands, but him as a musician also inspired me to play guitar because he plays 9 strings.
Yes.
He does a lot of very different stuff, like effects wise and tuning wise. And I'm sort of, and Stephen Carpenter is like sort of the same. You know, he plays sort of basic stuff, but he plays it in like polyrhythms and makes it sound off time when it's not.
Yeah.
So it's those sort of little oddities. I really like people that do things differently, and that's sort of what inspires me to use different like guitar effects. And I'm always like finicky with things. I'm always trying new amps, new strings, pots, pickups, like whatever. Almost to the point where it's detrimental, like to the craft, because I'm so obsessed with trying everything to find what works that it like takes away from the time I could be writing.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like at the end of the day, I'm just a mad music nerd. I'm just a fan. I want to be in a band like everyone else. And you know, I've just always appreciated it, and that's all I want to do. You know, so
You've got some new gear as well. You were talking about it before. You've got some new gear, so you'll be using that for some of your projects coming out.
yeah, for sure. I just picked up 2 Randall heads, so I'm probably going to be using them for 2-Faced.
Yep.
I just got a Gibson SG that I did up with new pickups and hardware. ESP Viper, a bunch of Fender Jim Roots.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, so they're all going to be seen at some point in the future. Hopefully, playing shows. I'm probably going to alternate a bunch of guitars and amps and stuff, so everybody's going to get a different flavour at every show.
Absolutely. Now, is there any advice that you give out to kids out there that want to start a band, get out there and play guitar, anything, just get out there and use it?
Yeah, just get out there and mingle. Like that's kind of all I did when I was younger. I just started going to shows, meeting people, making contacts.
Yeah.
You know, if you meet the right person, they might go, oh, hey, I know a guy who's putting on a punk gig or whatever. You know, if you're a kid starting out, a lot of people start in punk bands.
Yes,
I've noticed.
that's true.
So, you're just starting out in a punk band, just go out, make contacts, meet people, be friendly. And that's what it's about. It's about building up the scene. Like, we should all contribute to that. We should all build each other up, especially now that COVID has pretty much decimated the music industry. The best thing for all of us to do is come together, build each other up, promote each other, help each other. That's the best thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, thank you so much for this chat. Any final words you want to give the viewers out there? Anything you want to say?
Rock and roll.
Matt Hughes, guys.
Thanks.